If you've been feeling stressed out, overworked, and fatigued from all the invasive technology in modern life, you're not alone. It seems like the pace of life is increasing, the stress is getting harder to get out of, and it just feels more difficult to come up for air, and like we're treading water. And the promises to break out of this malaise are empty. If we just had this next new app, or the perfect productivity system, or we finished off our to-do list or bought a new identity, then everything would be okay. But that's not true. If there's one thing I've learned in my study of human society and wellness, it's that the farther away we get from nature, the worse off we become. And the closer we get to living naturally, the better off we are. Which is why in this video, I'm going to explain why the human way of doing things is broken and how returning to a more natural way of living will lead to a slower, calmer, simpler experience of life with greater balance. And by the end of this video, you're going to feel equipped to take on the craziness of the modern world and take your life back into something that is more profound, intentional, and peaceful. If you're new here, my name is Pete. I believe our fast-paced world of tech-obsessed convenience has gone too far, which is why on this channel, I explore slow, natural, sustainable ways of living so we can improve our lives, strengthen our communities, and heal our planet. First, let's start with why the human way is broken. Humans like to tinker with things. We like to come up with new gadgets and inventions, and this has been amazing for our society. We have the printing press and modern medicine and refrigeration. Like, this is great. The problem is, it has also come along with human ego. As we have developed these technologies, it's come along with the idea that we are better than nature, that we are separate from nature, that the human way is better than the natural way. You see, the natural way sees a complex ecosystem that has been a perfectly closed system for millions of years, supporting millions of species and life forms, and doesn't need any changes to it. The human way sees that and thinks, man, we should burn this to the ground and raise cattle for whoppers. It's this idea that we are separate from and better than nature. Of course, nature is then going to pose obstacles to that because it knows that we are not doing things the right way. But the human way says that any obstacles that come up need to be obliterated. If something gets in the way of our growth, our profit, our idea, our greed, our insatiable desire for more, then it must be destroyed. But the problem is this greed, this feeling that the human way is better than the natural way, has led to really disastrous results. In spite of all the great things we have in our society today that are objectively great and we should keep, the ego of the human way has created a system that is unsustainable, one that is driving our society off a cliff and is going to make life untenable for future generations. And even beyond the grand scope of the future of humanity, the human way, separate from the natural way, isn't that great for us either. We've soaked our food in poison and concocted bizarre scientific formulas to create ultra-processed food-like products, but then we suffer diseases from lifestyle and these foods that are completely preventable. We have become entirely reliant on corporations processing, growing, and creating the things that we eat, and then complain that we can't keep up with the rising price of food. We've taken our bodies, which evolved to walk roughly 20,000 steps per day, carry heavy loads across long distances, manipulate themselves through space and time, and just sat them on couches staring in front of screens for up to 14 hours a day, and then whine about aches and pains. We've blasted blinding lights into the night sky, ridding ourselves of the Milky Way and making sure that we never actually experience true night, but then complain about not getting enough sleep and buy blackout curtains as a remedy. We've taken a seasonal rhythm to life on Earth and replaced it with a 24/7 push for productivity and ambition, and then feel depressed and anxious and frustrated that we can't just seem to take a breath. We've gobbled up all the fresh water that we need so we can ask AI how to ask a girl out on a date and then wonder why our droughts are getting more severe. We've destroyed habitats for human development and then wonder why there are more ticks. Or we spray our lawns with pesticides and chemicals and gas-powered equipment and then wonder why our kids have asthma. You see, this human way of ego and thinking that we're separate from and greater than the natural way of doing things isn't just bad for humanity on the grand scheme, it's bad for us as individuals. And this is why we need to return to a more natural way of living. The natural way is not controversial. All we are asking for is clean water, pure air, real food, dark skies, quiet spaces, and strong communities. Whereas the human push for greed and profit and growth is the antithesis of all that. That natural platform is something that can benefit everyone. Listen, I'm not going to pretend that this is some easy thing that we can all just go back to the land and be hunter-gatherers. One, that can't happen even if we wanted it to. And two, we should not neglect those benefits I mentioned before of modern technology. We live in an infinitely complex system at this point. You tug on one string and it's going to ripple to all 8.3 billion people. Now, while there are organizations like Project Drawdown that have done a really great job of figuring out actual ways we can take our modern world, make it more in line with the natural way, and live a better life because of that with a lot of our conveniences, the reality is, as an individual, we don't have to worry or think about that because it can be overwhelming and keep us from doing what we are actually capable of doing in our little corner of the earth. Personal change is very important, even if the whole system doesn't change overnight. And this starts with a decision to drop the ego, to drop the human way that's making us feel so stressed out, so anxious, so unhealthy and on edge, and living in harmony with the natural way. It means moving our bodies as much as possible. It means riding a bike, growing or foraging our own food, checking in on our neighbors, using human-powered equipment whenever possible, traveling less or at least not as far. Let the grass grow and watch the pollinators return. It requires us to use less and consume less so we can live more. It's never going to be perfect. You're never going to live a no-impact life, but you can be the spark in your community to return to the natural way, to show the benefits of dark skies, real food, clean water, and pure air, to recognize that we are not separate from nature, that we're a part of it, and that the more we live in harmony with the system, the better off we'll all be. This is never going to be perfect, and it's also going to be less comfortable. But we can make the decision today to drop our egos, recognize that nature kind of has it all figured out, and do our best to live in harmony with the system. Because at this point, the natural way isn't just a better way to live. It's the only way to survive. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.